Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. But I want to talk about something that I have become very passionate about, and that is Sly and the Family Stone. I got this collection last January, so a little over a year ago. One CD has 18 songs on it, the other CD has 17 songs on it, so it's like 35 songs. It's got quite a bit of music on here. So it goes, kind of in chronological order through their albums from the first one to what would have been their last. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about regarding this album is the lyrical content. Something specific about the lyrics that I have noticed listening to this frequently. Sly Stone was always a socially conscious songwriter from the get-go, right? In the Hulu documentary that Questlove did called Sly Lives, they explained that Underdog was the first single that Sly and the Family Stone came out with, and it's a socially conscious song about being the underdog and how you gotta work twice as hard. And he said, I'm pretty sure it was even one of the band members said that they came out with the song and someone, whether it be the record company, a producer, someone told them to maybe tone it down a little bit to try and keep things simple. So the next album they came out with was Dance to the Music. So he wanted to be very socially conscious. They told him to tone it down. So then he came out just simple. I mean, if you ever listen to the lyrics from Dance to the Music, he's just talking about making a song. All we need is a drummer for people who only need a beat. I'm gonna add some bottom so that the dancers just won't hide. This song he's talking just a very, very simple, talking about dancing. The thing that is so interesting about this album is it goes through his discography. As it goes through his discography, the music gets darker. The lyrics get darker. In the early 70s, Sly Stone moved from San Francisco to LA, which is like a 7-8 hour drive. It's not next door by any means. And at least one or two of the band members left. I'm pretty sure Larry Graham left. A couple of the players left, and Sly thought that they would all come with him. Sly, was starting to isolate more. I believe he started getting into substances more, and you can tell in the music. Family Affair, which is the first song on disc 2 of this album, so it's later in the career. The musicianship is much more minimalist, There's a drum machine, there's a little bit of bass, and a little bit of keyboards, and that's really it for all the tracks on Family Affair. So you could tell he was fairly isolated. Family Affair was a fairly significant departure, in my opinion, from the earlier stuff. And as it gets further through the second album and goes further through Sly and the Family Stone's career, it starts to get even darker and even darker. I think the big song that really sticks out to me is If You Want Me to Stay. I always assumed when I first started listening to it, I was like, man, Larry Graham sounds great on that bass. He's thumping somehow. He's not slapping in the intro, but he's like thumping it hard, the bass somehow. And so I always thought, man, Larry Graham sounds great in this. Larry Graham did not play bass on If You Want Me to Stay. The song is, I'm pretty sure, about Larry Graham because Sly wrote the song after Larry Graham left the band. Yeah, the lyrics are fairly dark. If it were left up to me, which is down at the very end, the lyrics are fairly dark. Like, if it were left up to me, we would live in a bubble. To me, that's fairly dark. I mean, coming from writing a song like Stand to writing If It Were Left Up to Me or If You Want Me to Stay, it's fairly dark. Sly wanted to be this cheerful, upbeat, everyday person that can sing a simple song and get everyone to dance to the music. That was like the whole point. But he couldn't keep up that facade forever. I don't think that the point of the music was ever to live in this facade that you can keep up with forever. I think it's just more about making the best music you can. Yeah, if I wouldn't have listened to this 100 times, I don't think I would have noticed the general progression of the lyrics. I don't know if I would have noticed the change in the musicianship throughout. So in the age of streaming, find a band that you love or that you want to get into and get the CDs. Learn about the band, The CDs, if you have a CD player in your car or a computer or a PlayStation that you could put the disc in to play, you can listen to it all the time. In my opinion, when I get CDs, I really start to connect to the music. This band has really changed everything for me. The story is not pretty, but I don't think that life is always pretty. Some of the best art ever is made by people who suffer a lot. Rest in peace, Sly Stone. Sly and the Family Stone. If you've never listened to them, it's some of the best music ever made. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and listen to Sly and the Family Stone. And I will see you soon.